Leather Rokk here. This is my take 2 because my cat decided to run underneath my bed just as I started to film. So unfortunately, we're not going to have my baby. I wanted to do a makeup tutorial today, and I also wanted to tell you a crazy neighborhood story while we're at it. But first, I want to show you something that I forgot to mention that I got when I'd gone to Dollar Tree last week. I am nuts about rainbows, and I saw this in the gardening section, and I guess this is supposed to be a wind catcher or something that you're supposed to hang around your plants. But since my garden plot's not in a backyard, it's actually in kind of a public place, and I certainly don't want it to get stolen. So I'm going to keep it in my house, and I'm not going to hang it in any windows or anything because I don't want to attract attention to where I live, because I don't have necessarily a whole lot of fans around here. And I will tell you a story about one of those non-fans while I'm doing the makeup. First off, I'm going to tie up my hair because I'm sweating so hard right now that the hair is like plastering to my neck and feels kind of uncomfortable. Now, what I was going to do earlier today, actually, because my hair is fading terribly, I mean, I hardly ever wash it, but last time I washed it, a lot of the color lifted out of it, and I was going to bleach my roots today. But when I got my ingredients together, I realized I was totally out of peroxide. And my nearest beauty supply place is either 3 miles down beach, which I can walk it, or it's about 15-20 miles in the mainland, and I would have to take a bus, and I don't really feel like paying a bunch of bus fare. The bus fare would be more than the peroxide would be, and then if you let me loose in a beauty supply place, I'm going to spend $50-$60 really easily. I don't want to do that. So, and okay, I have everything needed for this. Now, let me give you a close-up because I don't often get the sides to match when I do these things, but this is what the finished product is supposed to look like. And for those who asked, yes, I really am this white. I don't think that you would ever ask a black person if they're really that dark, but for some reason it's okay to ask white people if they're really that white. Yes, I really am that white. I have a lot of Irish in me, and I am actually mostly English, and my ancestors do come from the whitest of the whites. So, and I don't think I should have to apologize for that because I am who I am and all that jazz. So, without further ado, okay, did you see this? Alrighty. Now, I remembered my trusty coconut oil, the kind that I can't cook with anymore because things got in it, and it now smells like a White House sub, if you know what submarine sandwiches are. So I would imagine that bacteria has grown in it, so I don't think it's safe to cook with. So now it is my makeup remover. And like I've been doing, I'm just going to do the format of doing the taking the stuff off of one eye and doing it that way. Now, I'm not going to bother showing you how I do my eyebrows and how I do my foundation because everybody's got a different color and different techniques, and you're obviously going to use whatever colors match you. So, and you're probably not as white as me. So, coconut oil straight in the hand. And one of the great things I love about coconut oil is so many makeup cleaners burn the eyes, and coconut oil does not burn the eye, even if you have heavy waterproof colors on your eyelids or real heavy waterproof mascaras. And I'm not wearing waterproof mascara or eyeliner. Matter of fact, 2 days in a row I actually didn't wear any makeup aside from my eyebrows because I had been dealing with this problem, not only the very watery eyes, but my eyelids flaking from the retinol, and possibly also the drip caused by my sinus issues. So I figured that why don't I take 2 days off and just put aloe vera. Since I'm out of vitamin E, I would preferably use vitamin E oil because that's really good for healing. Tabby boy! Oh my God, it's so bad. I hope I didn't forget anything this time. You know what? I'm going to close my door so that it doesn't pick up sounds from the hall. Excuse me. There. Yeah, I wish I could get my cat to keep from running underneath my bed, but because my bed does have space underneath it, I guess that's too tempting for a kitty. What? Oh, see, I almost started to take off the other side. I don't want to do that. Okay. I'm going to use this also, which is pretty good as far as all the makeup removers I've been using. This particular product is good, and it says it removes 99.3% of your most stubborn makeup, even waterproof mascara. Now that said, these things still cause a lot of tugging and pulling whenever I use them to take off things like waterproof mascara and waterproof eyeliner. So I think, and it's just my opinion, it's better to stick with an oil to remove those things, because the last thing you want to do is pull and tug around the eye area, because for some reason the skin around the eyes, it's thinner, it's not as elastic as skin elsewhere on the face, and there is a chance that if you pull and stretch at the skin around your eyes, it might not stretch back, and then you will have wrinkling and crepey skin, and we don't want these things. I don't know anybody who loves the wrinkles that they have. I mean, you might be at peace with them, but nobody really likes them. Now, if you're a wrinkly person and you like your wrinkles, feel free to correct me, but I don't think it's necessarily something that people want. Now, I did a few things a little bit differently for this makeup tutorial, and I will talk you through what I did that was different. Some of the things I did differently are because the products that I intended to use I can't find. Some of the things I did differently because I just felt like doing things different to see if it looked different. A lot of times things are an experimentation, and I end up learning something, and it's good to be learning things. Okay, first step I'm going to do is put foundation on my eyelid. Now, I could use a tacky, moist coating of something, which usually I do because it makes the eyeshadows adhere better and it brightens the look. But I'm just using the same foundation that I used on my face, which is Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. Now, the Maybelline Fit Me has another form that has a dewier, moisture finish, but their lightest shade was not light enough for me. And it's important that you have colors that go with your skin tone. So, and I am like the whitest of the white, which I think is rather cool. I mean, and I would think that if a person was the blackest of the blackest, they would probably think that was cool too, just because of the extreme. So, and whatever you are, whatever your color is, you should celebrate that, and you should feel good about that. And don't let anybody tell you that you shouldn't be proud of who you are, because there's room in life for all of us, as long as we treat each other with respect and don't try to belittle somebody and make them feel less than. Because in my opinion, the only reason why a person should be made to feel less than is if they're an idiot or they are doing terrible things and they're hurting other people. Then yes, call them on it, punish them, whatever. But if a person's just expressing themselves and they're just being who they are and they're letting the world say, see, this is who I am, this is how I am, then that should be celebrated, and that should be honored, and that should be tolerated, and people should just be cool. Okay. I'm gonna fix this just a little bit because I made myself smudge a little. And now this wasn't sitting on me for hours at a time, so both sides should match better. Because there's some oxidizing will take place if makeup has been on for hours, and then if you try to duplicate sides, a fresh application might not match the side that's been on for hours. Alright, now we have an opaque and dry matte coat on the eyelid. Our first step is going to be, and this time I'm not confining myself just to one palette. I wanted to give some love and attention to eyeshadows that are my single eyeshadows that I haven't been really using as much of, because since I got into all these palettes, I've been trying to find different uses for a palette, see how many different looks I can get out of a palette, and I've been really neglecting my single eyeshadows. Now this is from Hot Topic, and the company is called Warpaimt Beauty. I dropped this shadow one too many times, so it tends to crumble, so I'm going to try real hard to show it to you without dumping it all over my computer keyboard. I want you to see what the logo looks like. Warpaimt Beauty, can you see that? And okay, the color on this is cool. It's one of my favorite things. The color on this is called Weeds, and I think we all know what weed is my favorite. It's the weed that's unfortunately not legal in all 50 states, and it's the weed that I don't have any. If you have some, dude, smoke me out. Okay, we're going to take this eyeshadow, and if I can avoid dumping it on myself, I'm going to take, okay, this is the brush. This is one of the 99-cent store brushes made by either Vivace or Vivace. I have no idea how it's pronounced. Because this shadow is all very crumbly, I'm just going to touch it to it, and I'm going to tap off the excess. And again, try not to dump it all over my computer keyboard. Now for a while there, I had a mirror taped to my laptop right next to the light and the lens, but the problem is there are two holes that are actually the built-in microphone, and that was obscuring it, and that was making it harder to hear. So I'm just going to take this eyeshadow, and I'm going to lightly go just over the crease, just a little bit like this with that. That's all I'm going to use with this, and I'm not blending right now. See, a lot of makeup techniques I'm noticing on YouTube, they do a whole lot of blending, and they do all these extra colors that don't look like anything like what the finished product is going to be. And I think they tend to make the technique more complicated than it has to be. I'm not saying I'm being critical of other YouTubers, it's just an observation I made. Seems to me the makeup that you're applying should kind of look like the finished product. And if you can get away with using less colors to get the achieved look, I think you should do that. Did I smudge? Yeah, I think I did. Okay, I'm just using this as a mirror, even though I did use two colors from this. Alright, now I'm going to use two more Hot Topic eyeshadows, and these are actually the Hot Topic brand. I love the packaging on these. These are baked eyeshadows, and they have skull and crossbones, which is always cool. Now, I used to have a lipstick, a wonderful purple lipstick by Hot Topic. They had the same logo on it. Unfortunately, it finally went rancid on me, and I ended up using it as eyebrow color. And either I used it up, I can't imagine I threw it out. I mean, I will throw out lipsticks that go rancid unless I can use them as an eyebrow color. But it was a little bit of a bluish tinged purple, so the only time I use it for an eyebrow color is when my hair was less fuchsia and more of that grayish, bluish, purplish shade. Now, these can be applied wet or dry. For this look, everything is actually dry. I was thinking of doing it dry and then wetting it at the last minute so that you could see that you get two looks out of it. But then I decided that I didn't think it was really necessary. Even though, who knows, I may do that before I'm done. I'm sweeping this along the shadow here. And matter of fact, would it be good if I turned the light out so you could see what it looks like without the light? These are some of my favorite green eyeshadows, these. I just love them so much. I've had them about 5-6 years now, maybe even longer. As a matter of fact, I don't know, maybe my father was still alive when I got them. But actually, I found these not at my closest Hot Topic, but at a Hot Topic about 40 miles away, and I found them on the discount rack. They were 99 cents each, and if you know me, you know I'm all about the sales. So, I'm going to take this. I can't believe I set that palette down and I can't find it. See, I have so many. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to sweep this just on the eyelid, and if it didn't take enough, then I will apply some more. I was very tempted to start off with them wet, but and it's a good idea not to set these on a computer, because you know these have mirrors in them. I mean, yeah, they have mirror. No, they don't. They have magnets in them, and magnets and computers do not mix, because if a magnet's strong enough, it can mess with your hard drive. It can even erase it, and you don't want that. So it's great the knowledge you get on watching YouTube videos, huh? And I hope that I entertain people, and I hope I educate people. Whatever your motivation is for watching my videos, I hope that it gives you, I hope you get something out of it. Okay, now I'm not blending. I'm carrying this from the lid up to the crease, and if it does any blending, it'll only be the blending that will happen when I do the sweep and it touches the crease color, which we're going to cover up in a minute. Okay, I'm going to put that brush back. Now we're going to use this brush here, which was another 99-cent store brush. I believe it was also by Vivace, V-I-V-A-C-E, or Vivace. I wish I knew how they pronounced it. But you know what? Probably there's different people with that same spelling of that name and probably pronounce it different ways. That's kind of how names are. And maybe it was a made-up name. I mean, you think my parents gave me my name? That's another story. Anybody can make a name up, or they can change the pronunciation. So I've covered this brush with this eyeshadow. Oh, let me show you this close up. If this doesn't have a label on it anymore, I call this emerald green. I don't remember if it ever had a color to it, but I'm going to sweep this. I'm going to actually cover that shadow that I used for the crease color. See that? I covered that. Now that looks like that's too much, but we're going to do something about that right now. Now I'm going to take another brush, another 99-cent store Vivace or Vivace brush, and I'm going to use the B&H Cosmetics Wild Child palette, which is not one of my favorite palettes because it's almost all neutrals, and I'm really not a neutral kind of girl. But I'm going to dip into the Frosty White. All of these are frosty colors, and they can be applied wet or dry, but I'm doing this dry, and I'm giving a good sweeping of the white, and I'm going to go over my brow bone. The intent is not so much to make it look white, even though it is, but is to make it look like a highlight that would be suitable for a person as light as me. I'm thinking, I'm going to add a little bit more to this just so they match, because really the idea is for both eyes to match. Even though lately I've been seeing in some magazines that sometimes makeup artists will deliberately do eyes one different than another. I think that just looks sloppy. To me, that looks like you put on your makeup when you were drunk. And there was a time when I did drink, and who knows, maybe I did a slightly sloppy job. I would hate to think that I did, because I've always been a perfectionist when it comes to my makeup. And ever since I quit drinking, I have taken kind of a dim view of drinking, because you can't think adequately when you're drinking. Now, I could see that when I did that makeup, I don't know if it's a combination of the makeup I just applied or when I took off the makeup on this side, but I could see that I removed some of my eyebrow color by mistake. So I'm going to fix that for you right now. And there are so many things through the years I've used for my eyebrow color. All I have to do is follow the natural shape of my eyebrows. But I really like this stiff doe foot applicator from this Color Stay liquid lipstick that was black cherry, and it's almost totally used up, and I haven't been able to find it anymore. I don't know if they still make up, and anyway, I never paid full price for it. I got it at the 99-cent store for 50 cents. The 99-cent stores where I live, all their makeup is 50 cents, just so you know. Even though the lipsticks are almost always old and rancid, but if you're going to use them for eyebrow color, it doesn't matter. I've gotten Maybelline washable waterproof mascaras at the 99-cent store, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. Even though you really do have to worry about how old makeup is if you're getting it at a 99-cent store. Now, Dollar Trees, on the other hand, their makeup is a lot fresher. I think it's because they go through products faster. Now, for eyeliner, the on top and bottom is different. The bottom, I use the remnants of Hot Topic purple eye pencil. I don't remember, because obviously you can't see the label anymore. I don't remember whether this had the Hot Topic label or whether this had the Warpaimt Beauty label. I honestly don't remember, because you could see how short it is. When I got this pencil, this was a normal, tall, skinny, 8 inches, 9 inches long pencil. So this is what's left of it, and it's harder than it was in the beginning, and I really don't want to scrape under my eye because I don't like wrinkles on me. I don't want to say that everybody is ugly with wrinkles, because I don't feel that way at all. As a matter of fact, actually, there's a whole lot of people who are drop dead beautiful and they have some wrinkles to them, and they may even be people who either are in show business or maybe are married to rock stars. But that said, I really don't want those wrinkles on me, and that's why I'm going to be getting my own prescription Retin-A very soon. As soon as my retinol products run out, and as soon as I save up enough money from one of my day jobs to get the Retin-A, I'm getting the Retin-A, and I will definitely be telling you guys all about it, including the online foreign pharmacy from India that I'm going to be ordering it from, because this is something I've been studying for quite a while, and ever since I found out that there's an alternative to having to go to a dermatologist and get a prescription, and you're talking, I mean, I don't know how much it would cost for the doctor's appointment, but the prescription would be at least $80 for a tiny little 2-ounce tube. And so right away you're talking a good $200. And if you're dealing with wrinkle creams and things, insurance is not going to cover it anyway. Now, some retinoids can also be used for acne, and I imagine you could get Retin-A for acne, and you could possibly have it covered by your insurance, but I don't know, because I don't know what kind of insurance you have, and I'm sure that there are ways of bullshitting a dermatologist so that they give you something that would be covered under your insurance, even though you know you're using it for aesthetic purposes. And now I don't know if acne is considered something that's covered by insurance as a medical thing or as an aesthetic thing, because obviously acne pimples are not what most of us consider to be aesthetically pleasing. And yet, if you feel that something is such a detraction to your appearance that you think it is disfiguring, then maybe it can be declared as something under your insurance. I don't know. I'm not an insurance adjuster. I am not an attorney, and I'm honestly not qualified to advise you on that. But I know that there are people that have gotten anti-aging things that were also acne treatments, and they managed to get them covered by their insurance. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the whole doctor business. I am a reasonably educated person, and I'm going to go to this online pharmacy in India, and I'm going to save myself a lot of money. And one thing that's really great about this company that I'm going to be ordering from is normally there's a $15 flat shipping rate, but if you order $100 worth or more, shipping is free. So I'm going to get myself $100 worth of Retin-A, and I'm going to get it in at least 2 different strengths, so that if I have to do a lower strength in the beginning until my skin gets used to it, then I will have the lower strength and the higher strength. And a lot of people who use Retin-A vary it depending on how their skin is. If your skin is, for instance, extra flaky for a couple of weeks, maybe you might bump down to a lower strength. But as you tolerate it, you might want to use a higher strength, because you want more of those ingredients that cause your body to produce its own collagen, which is how Retin-A gets rid of, or at least makes them much less, the wrinkles and the lines that are in your face. And Retin-A does a lot of other things besides get rid of wrinkles. Retin-A helps to lighten skin discolorations, which is something that vitamin C does also, which is something that a hydroquinone does. And hydroquinone you put on twice a day. Okay, let's see how this is looking so far. Now it's time for the upper eyeliner. I'm using Maybelline New York Master Precise. This is not waterproof. This started to run on me today, actually. My eyes are so watery. I dread the idea of having to go to a doctor to ask him why. I dread the cost more than anything else. Now, when I was at Dollar Tree, I got 2 different kinds of allergy pills just for the hell of it to experiment with, to see if they would help with my runny eye problem. Well, as luck would have it, one of those pill packages I got is a total generic version of a pill that was recommended to my mother. So, and it was normally cost $1 a pill or something like that. I think her insurance, it was going to be $11 out of pocket or something. But I got her a package for $1, so now I know where to get her $11 medicine for $1. So, and nobody I know is really in a position to spend more money than they absolutely have to. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more so it matches. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to use this bronzy color here, and I'm going to sweep it with another. Let's see, where did this brush come from? Oh, this brush here is from ELF, ELF Cosmetics. The discoloration here is from my hair dye, but this ELF has really great brushes, and this cost me $1. Now I'm going to put this color just in the corner. It's kind of not as much a highlight as it is a shadowy, contoury color. It makes the nose look really, really narrow here. Not that I deliberately try to mess with my nose. I don't do contouring on my nose. I'm pretty happy with how it looks, except for the deviated septum thing, that it looks really crooked if you look under my nose like that. But I don't, generally speaking, go up to people and go or do anything crazy like that. So, but it is something I noticed, partly because I'm pierced. It's funny, I never had any doctor tell me about that when I was a kid. You know, it would have been nice to know, but I guess since it never was a medical problem, they never saw any reason to bring it up. Okay, this is my mascara. This is from LA Colors, and I got it at Dollar Tree, and it's their Big Lash. The jury's still out as to how much I think of this mascara. It does have a nice brush. I wish the handle was kind of skinnier. So many mascara applicators, I noticed the handles are really thick, and I would actually, maybe because I have really small hands, I would prefer a thinner handle. That's just my preference. It would make it easier to control. It would feel more graceful. This does not do much thickening to the lashes. I hope this mirror here isn't getting in your way too much. Huh. Okay, I see a smudge I'm going to deal with. Alrighty. And one of my friends gave me some of these. These are kind of like Q-tips, but they have a point on one end and they're kind of flat on the other. And the company is called Face Secrets that puts these out. And you see how one end is kind of flat, but it's thick in a way, and the other is pointy. You could probably put an eye out with this. I'll admit, one time my ears were scratchy and I actually used this to scratch inside my ears because Q-tips are kind of too narrow. Okay, that good. Alrighty. Now, this time around I didn't do contour like I usually do. Now, the reason why I didn't do my contour is because I can't find it. I've been going out so much between the clubbing and what have you, and usually when I go clubbing I bring almost all my makeup with me, unless I know I'm only going to be gone 2 or 3 hours and I don't think I'm going to be sweating it off. What I'm using instead of contour, I'm using a blush by L'Oreal HIP High Intensity Pigments, and the color is called Elated. And this is a very gorgeous plummy, purpley, burgundy, but not as brown as burgundy usually is. It's quite a sumptuous color. It's solid, and well, of course it's solid, it's not a liquid. Oh, I already had it on, so I don't need to put it on. What the heck did I do that for? I mean, I didn't take this off. But anyway, that's what it looks like. You know what? Since I did that, I'm going to put a little bit more on. And this is kind of like when people wore blush in the 80s, they used blush as contour. And I know when I was a kid, I did my blush way too heavy. And it didn't occur to me that it was too heavy, but when I look at pictures now, I realize that it was. I mean, I had heavy blush, dark lipstick, heavy eyeshadow, and I didn't blend in those days, and I used the applicators that the eyeshadows came with. I did not use brushes. I think the biggest impact on my makeup life, how I do my makeup now as to when I was a teenager, is I use brushes and I blend. And blending and using brushes is the best improvement, I think, in doing eye makeup. Just my opinion. The lipstick I'm using is by Nicka K, and the color is called Violet, and number 997. As you can see, it's almost finished. It's even starting to go rancid, actually, but I really love the color, and I don't want to get rid of it. I love this color. So, I had a little scary incident the other day. I was crossing the street. I was getting ready to go to my new garden plot. I have got an invitation from some neighbors to have a plot in this community garden, and they'd actually told me last year that I could have it, and I figured they were just being polite. And I went to go and pet a neighbor's cat, because I'm a cat person, and if there's a cat, I'm going to pet it, right? And while I was there, the lady said, "Hey, Leathur, do you still want your garden?" And I said, "Oh, there's shit in the woods, of course I do." So they gave me a garden plot, and I'm sowing seeds in my house, and I have them in little pots all over, and when they spring up and they're decent enough size so that the heavy rains aren't going to mess with them, I'm going to transfer them to the garden plot. And I'll show you maybe in another future video some of what I'm planning, and who knows, maybe I'll even do a video there. Well, I was crossing the street yesterday with some jugs of water to water my garden when this little crack whore came up to me, a person who I will call a getizen. you know, a citizen of the ghetto who's nothing but trouble, who's a dirtbag. She came up to me and said, "Hey, are you the bitch who dumped the water on me?" Well, and of course I said no, because if you think somebody's going to kick your ass, you never admit that you've done them wrong. Well, let me give you some backstory here. A little over a year ago, I was wakened up at 4 o'clock in the morning by a man and woman screaming at each other underneath my bedroom window. Now, this was not when I was filming a video at 4:30 in the morning. This was not on a club life night. This was on a weekday night. This was before I had committed to a 3-day-a-week YouTube filming schedule, right? So I was actually trying to sleep. Most people, unless they're working a night shift and they're not at home, they sleep during those hours. These people were getting in this shouting tete-to-tete underneath my bedroom window. And they weren't just doing it in passing. They were staying there 10, 15 minutes. And finally, I said, screaming at them, "Shut the fuck up!" And they would not stop. So finally, I did what any red-blooded American woman would do. I had an empty 2-quart jug of what used to be cranberry juice or whatever. It was full of water, and I opened the window just a little bit. And I did not show my face anywhere near the window because I don't want to be implicated in what I was about to do. And I let it rain. And of course, she didn't like that. Turned out people don't like to be rained on in the ghetto. And then I went into the kitchen and I opened up the window there. And, you know, we have a little sprayer. And they were continuing, because she's hooting and hollering like a rape ape. And I'm like, you know, I'm not having it, because I'm, you know, I have a right to sleep too. And so do my roommates. So I got the sprayer and I opened the window and I went and I let it rain. And they really didn't like it. Oh my goodness, the vocabulary out of that woman. She was most displeased. In fact, that woke up my roommates and they heard it, and the one said, "Gee, Leathur, somebody wants to whip your ass." She was pretty upset. So anyway, for the next couple of weeks, I kind of looked over my shoulder and laid low and tried to look a little discreet when I was going about my business, because I did not want to be seen by this person who I was pretty sure didn't know who I was. And eventually I kind of forgot about it. And now the weather is getting warmer, and now I'm not looking so nondescript, because let's face it, first of all, I don't have a lot of nondescript clothes. Second of all, why can't I express myself? This is a free country and I'm an American, and yada yada yada. So anyway, yesterday this woman confronts me. And first of all, when the whole incident happened, I did not see who exactly it was. I wasn't about to stick my head out the window and let them see me. And there's no way that I could identify a person based on their voice, with a few exceptions, because one shrieking hysterical person would sound like 1,000 other shrieking hysterical people. So she, I will describe her for you, shorter than me. She had what I'm guessing was a wig on, because so many crack whores, just like so many people of that demographic, do seem to wear wigs. Why they can't grow their hair, I don't know. So anyway, she's got this flat iron, straight hair, and she's yelling at me and basically offering to kick my ass. And I said, "Honey, if you do, I don't care if I go to prison for what I do to you," which of course is I'm talking shit, because I live in a state that does not allow for self-defense. In other words, all the gangs in town can have guns and stuff, but we can't in my state, because only police can. And I'm not one to break laws like that, because the last thing you want is a felony, right? So that means I'm going to have to look over my shoulder at this crazy, nasty, drug-addled crack whore, and you can't tell me she's not. So now I have to worry about maybe using another way to get in and out of my building so that they don't see me. Maybe she was sitting on the stoop next door or something, I don't know. How she thought for sure it was me. I basically even said I didn't live here. So I got to worry about somebody who's still mad at me because I got her weave or her wig or her crack wet. But, you know, nobody ever stops to think, well, okay, yes, maybe it wasn't nice to dump water on her, but was it right of her to be yelling and screaming and making a ruckus at 4 o'clock in the morning? I wouldn't go to her house and do that to her. It's funny, people can dish things out they can't take. And I've had it. I fucking had it with these people that act up like this. I live in a total ghetto. I really do. I can't afford to move out because moving is a real pain in the butt. You know that. And just cleaning things up. And I have so many things I want to sell and what have you. So anyway, now I gotta look over my shoulder. Oh, as luck would have it, when I went to go check on the garden area today, there's a whole bunch of cops around there because they're walking the beat around here. And I came up to them and I said, you know, I'm really glad to see you guys. And I gave them the too long didn't read version of what went down with that crackhead lady. And I told them, I said, you know, I hope that you're going to be doing regular patrols around here because now I've made this enemy and I don't know how I could possibly defend myself against people who probably have friends in gangs and who knows what kind of weaponry they're carrying around. Because these people, they have so many felonies and strikes against them, they don't care about the laws. I imagine a lot of people carry guns around here. And it boggles my mind because you know damn well that only cops in my state are allowed to carry. So anybody that's not a cop that's carrying, they're breaking the law. But these criminals don't care. They don't care about laws. They don't care about who they hurt. And you know, if they just want to kill each other, that's kind of fine. Maybe not to their mothers, but you know, kill each other off. I don't care. Don't get me involved. But I don't want to be making enemies because I kind of stand out around here. You know, I'm pretty sure that she's not going to be watching makeup tutorials because she doesn't learn. Okay, if you notice any shininess here, I took this. This is the B&H BlackLight highlight palette that I really love, and this is something that I actually will buy again. I used the white on this, and this time I did not only just here and here and here and here and here, but I also did my clavicle, also known as the collarbone. Now you see where I got it. If I look in the, I'm looking right now at my screen. If I look at the screen, I'm going to get it all screwed up. But I accentuated my clavicle. I put some here and here. And because I am the whitest of the white, I put some here and here. Now, if you're going to go with the frosty white, I suggest you be an almost albino like myself. But you could use any color that would be flattering on you. If you're a black person and you're watching this, you could use a highlighter that is a coppery or even a gold. Those colors look gorgeous on darker skins. Just find the colors that suit your skin tone. If you don't have the palettes or the single shades that I have, find something, shop your closet. You know, there's so many things you can get ideas from watching tutorials or whatever. You might not have the same products, just use similar products. You don't need to invest in the $40 or $50 IT palette that the bloggers say you must have. There's nothing you must have. You must pursue happiness in a way that is ethical and without hurting other people, but there are very few musts in life. You must have a roof over your head and food in your belly. Well, guess what? If you're homeless, maybe you don't think you must have a roof over your head. But you must sleep, you must eat, and you should pursue happiness. And I'm all about responsible happiness pursuit. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I think that's it for the makeup. I'm going to take my hair down again and see if there's anything else I wanted to mention, because this is getting a little long here. But hopefully I will get my hair re-dyed soon because it's so faded. Oh, do you want to look at my jewelry? Yes, this is a voodoo doll. Don't be scared. It's not about you. This, though, I'll tell you where I got it. I got it at in a gift shop in the Tropicana Hotel Casino before security started being assholes there. And not to say that all the Tropicana security are assholes. There are some nice people there, but the ones that have been messing with me. Oh, I finally found my ID. For like 4 or 5 months, I lost my ID. I just found it. However, it's not going to help me where I live because it's county ID and they only accept state. And in other words, it has to be either a driver's license or a non-driver DMV ID, or of course a passport if you really want to spend the money. And I don't want to spend the money. When in doubt, Rokk doesn't want to spend the money. Yeah. So anyway, I had originally got this because there was a certain enemy that I made that I wanted to leave me alone and wanted to never see him. And these are marketed just to be toys that help you feel better about yourself. But let me tell you, with proper visualization anything can be a working tool. And ever since I started wearing it, the person stopped bothering me. I stopped running into them. These things really do work. Tools, magical tools really do work. I think they work on us, the person who uses them. And if your perception of things change, then things do essentially are changed, because attitude is everything. Perception is everything. If you study the Kabbalah, if you study metaphysics, you learn these things. It's for real. Anyway, I thought that it would be something different. I wanted to wear some jewelry that maybe you guys hadn't seen before. And these are, oh, and this I also got at Hot Topic, by the way. These are soft rubber, but they're still pointy. But I would imagine that they are safer to go through security because they're not made of metal. Even so, some places might not let you bring it in anyway, because I imagine you could still hurt somebody. And when in doubt, if you don't want to lose something, it's best not to wear things to certain clubs and concerts, because, like, for instance, a lot of places would not let me in. I remember there was a time in my town where cops were taking studded belts from juveniles, and they would literally confiscate them. Ah, crap! I just stepped on my cat's food bowl and spilled it on my floor. And that means I'm going to be on my hands and knees picking up cat food. Anyway, they were taking kids' belts and throwing them in the trash. And I think that's really a crying shame, because they can be rather expensive, even though none of my belts cost me more than $5. But anyway, I really love my spiked and studded leather. I have quite a collection. You've seen the belts that are hanging up there. I love them. Some of them are kind of old, but hey, what's wrong with old, right? Okay, I think this is it. I can't think of anything else I forgot. This is the eyebrow color. This is from LA Colors. It's LA Colors Lip Duo, and the color is called Vibe. And that is how I did my makeup. I wasn't even going to do a makeup tutorial today. I didn't know what I was going to film. I knew that I had to come up with a video for tomorrow, and this is what you got. If you like these videos, please give this video a thumbs up. If you like these content that I produce, feel free to subscribe. I would love to have you join my little YouTube family and hit that bell notification. That way you won't miss anything I upload. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.